Is it? Is it really? Well, you're going back to do more stand-up?
I am going back.
Oh.
You're asking me, are we crushed by political
Oh, I
correctness?
know why you're going back.
I don't believe, really. I've many times been accused of, I was virtually accused of inventing political correctness. I've always been a liberal with a small L, a motivated comedian, a lefty. I'm sure a lot of your listeners won't particularly sympathise with that, but nonetheless, I've always, been happy to enter any conversation.
Well, you can have the chant and take it with you.
Exactly. I thought that was rather good. And incidentally, that being a union person and being a reporter are not mutually exclusive, as your introduction seemed to suggest they were.
They are on this stage.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't actually believe real political correctness is anything better than good manners, about respecting each other's space and trying to communicate in a civilised manner with people. It's not that you can't say anything. I don't believe... Most of these things are myths. Every day in the Mail you'll see, apparently a comedian was told you're not allowed to be sexist. I mean, there are laws, there are hate speak laws, but on the whole, I've never heard of comedians being censored on stage. Personally, for me, censorship is a matter of self-censorship. I think you should take your own morality on stage. This novel, which deals with all these identities, a few people have said, oh, you're very brave. Oh, my gosh, there's a trans character, and then you're talking about Me Too and things. And I say, why would I be brave? These are the conversations we're having at the moment, and I trust my own instincts to deal with them properly and in a decent and uplifting way, and use comedy as a cohesive force rather than as a divisive one. I think people who peddle hate, be it in a comedy or on, just in a speech, need to be confronted. I think it's dangerous to ban them. I think on the whole, we must be very careful about using the law to silence speech, but I think we must be brave and confront it. It's like when you're with someone and they say something you think's objectionable, you should say something. If somebody, that joke that always starts with, look, I'm not being racist, but you've got to hear this. Well, my immediate rate is, well, if you're going to say that, you probably are being racist, so why don't you not?
Talking about outrage, what outrages you? Really?
The age of outrage. I'll tell you what outrages me, and probably some of your listeners will be outraged that I'm outraged about it, but I think we're all having incredibly petty local political conversations while the world is dying. I mean, what really, really worries me is climate change and environmental degradation. And I think in Australia, the thing that's outraged me most is the way the carbon debate is used literally for short-term political gain. The idea that really that it's not a serious problem, and I feel very strongly that it is. Do you know Game of Thrones? It's coming back soon. You're not seeing. Well, it's a very, very big
heard
hit,
about it, yeah.
and it's rather splendid. It's a really wonderful.
It's a bit like Married at First Sight.
Well, it's sword and sorcery, and it's all about the politics and the intrigues of these various kingdoms fighting for supremacy in this mythical sort of pre-Europe whatever. And in the meantime, beyond the wall are the White Walkers, the armies of the dead who are massing. And one day they're going to come, and all the petty intrigues and local politics will be irrelevant because everybody's going to be squashed by the army of the dead. And I think that's climate change. I think while we're all having our, day-to-day debates on this or that issue, I think we need to see the bigger picture, and that is that we are a global community. While we all talk about my community or his or her community, we're a global community, and I think we need to look after our planet a great deal better.